When you first started dating the wealthy heiress, you made your stance very clear. You told her that you couldn't put up with the toxic lifestyle of her social circle. If she ever wanted to end things, she didn't even have to say the words. All she had to do was join in on those twisted games her rich friends played. You'd take that as a silent breakup and walk away. So, the moment you found out she was hiding a college kid on the side, you knew it was over. She just laughed it off and claimed it was a bet with her best friend. She promised to dump him as soon as she won, but you didn't waste your breath. You just looked at her and said, "We're done." You turned around, packed your bags, and walked out of the villa. She was furious and blocked your number immediately. She just sat there, waiting for you to come crawling back and beg for forgiveness like you always did. But she forgot one crucial detail. Over the last 6 years, she had blocked you 483 times. She'd threatened to leave you 282 times. This time, however, you were the one who actually ended it. Once you were gone, Lurian went completely off the rails. Within a single month, her lifestyle had completely ruined her stomach. That's when the reality finally hit her. A whole month had passed, and you still hadn't come back to beg for her attention. The stomach pain became too much to handle. She finally caved and tried to call you, only to realize she was the one who was blocked now. She grabbed Wang Ma's phone and dialed your number instead. The call went through instantly. "What's wrong, Wang Ma?" your warm voice asked. Rian had 1,000 things she wanted to scream at you. She wanted to ask if you were done with your tantrum and when you were dragging yourself back home, but the words got stuck in her throat. All she could choke out was, "My stomach hurts." Your tone stayed flat. "If you're sick, go see a doctor. I'm not one." You hung up without a second thought. Lu Ruyan shook with pure rage. She grabbed the phone and smashed it against the wall with everything she had. It shattered into a million pieces. Wang Ma just stood there, looking completely stunned. "That was my phone," she whispered. Suffocating with anger, Lu Ruyan stormed upstairs and locked herself in. She kept telling herself she didn't need you to survive. Her brother, Lu Yan, drove up to the villa and let himself in. "Sis, I'm here with a message from Mom. This time, she's set you up with young Master Kin. He's a PhD from Columbia." "Sis, you here?" He frowned when he didn't get an answer. He dialed her number, but her ringtone started playing right next to him. He saw her phone sitting on the coffee table. "If her phone is here, she has to be home," he muttered. He headed straight for the second floor without thinking twice. "Sis, are you in there?" "Mom wants you to have dinner with the Chens tonight. Did you hear me?" He knocked for several minutes, but there was no response. It was dead silent. Liu Yan frowned and called for Wang Ma. She told him the miss had been home all day and hadn't gone out once. She said Lu Ruyan looked terrible, and her stomach issues were probably flaring up again. It had been quiet for way too long. He worried she might have passed out inside. Liu Yan grabbed the spare key and rushed to unlock the door. When it finally swung open, he found her. Liu Ruyan was lying on the floor, her face as pale as a ghost. An hour later, cold IV fluids were dripping into her veins. The sharp pain finally started to fade away. Ruyan opened her eyes slowly, feeling her throat burning with thirst. When Jiang Wan saw her wake up, she immediately poured a glass of water and handed it to her. "Sister Liu, are you feeling any better? Zhao Yan called us earlier and said you'd passed out. You really gave us a scare. We got here as fast as we could. Seriously, you were doing just fine, and then suddenly you're in a hospital bed. You nearly gave us all heart attacks." Liu Ruyan scanned the room. It was packed with people, and even her mother, Xu Yukin, had shown up. Everyone was there except for you. A bitter smirk touched Ruyan's lips as she sneered inwardly. "You really are heartless." "How am I doing?" she asked. "The doctor says your sleep schedule is a total wreck. Plus, you've been drinking way too much lately. You ended up with a perforated ulcer." Liu Yan grimaced. "Sis, you have no idea how terrible you looked earlier. You honestly scared the life out of me." Xu Yukin stood nearby, her expression stern. "Where is Chen Fan? Something this serious happens, and he hasn't even shown his face yet?" The room went dead silent the second she spoke. Ruyan stayed quiet, her face a blank mask. Jiang Wan and Wang Kexin knew the truth, and they were too afraid to even breathe. Huo Xinyu finally spoke up from the side. "They broke up, didn't you guys know?" Xu Yukin's brow furrowed. "Are they still fighting? How many days has it been now? His temper is getting out of control." Ruyan's expression soured even further at those words. Huo Xinyu glanced at Xu Yukin. "Auntie, I don't think he'll be so easy to win over this time." "What's that supposed to mean? Is he trying to act tough with me?" Ruyan cut off coldly. "We're done for real this time. He's the one who ended it." Xu Yukin dialed your number immediately. "Chen Fan, who the hell do you think you are? You should have been grateful my daughter even looked at you back then. That was a blessing from your ancestors. Do you have any idea how much money she's spent on you over the years? This is how you pay her back, you ungrateful wretch. Even a stray dog on the street has more gratitude than you do." My daughter is lying in a hospital bed right now. When exactly are you coming back to look after her? You only gave her one sentence in response. I'm sorry, but whatever happens to your daughter is none of my business anymore. Then you just hung up, refusing to let it go, so you can tried calling again, but you'd already blocked her number. 30 minutes later, Liu Yan kicked your door open. He grabbed you without saying a word and tried to pull you outside. You're coming to the hospital with me. My sister's been admitted, and she needs you right now. You didn't move an inch. We broke up. Whether she lives or dies has nothing to do with me. My sister has a perforated ulcer. Liu Yan stared at you, completely shocked. And you're still acting like this? Do you even have a heart? Has she ever treated you badly over the last 6 years? She let you live in her villa, bought you designer clothes, and let you use her black card whenever you wanted. Liu Yan's anger boiled over. He didn't even have a black card himself. To think I used to take your side. Now I'm just asking you to visit her in the hospital and you won't even do that? You looked at him with cold eyes. I don't want to. Now get the hell out. Fine. Liu Yan let out a sharp, angry laugh. You'd better remember what you said today. I hope you keep that backbone of yours forever. Don't you dare come back crying and begging. I'll have my sister come get you later. With that, he slammed his foot against the door, spun around, and marched away. He was moving so fast that he stumbled over some garbage in the hall. He let out a loud curse. What a total dump. It was filthy and smelled like trash. Just his luck. Suddenly his phone started ringing. Sis, why are you calling? Didn't the doctor say you need to rest? Back at the hospital, Liu Ruyan had just opened her eyes when she found out Liu Yan had rushed off. He wanted to drag Chen Fan to the hospital to see her. We couldn't stop him, we really tried, Jiang Wan said, shrugging her shoulders to show she was helpless. Liu Ruyan's eyes shifted. She waited for 40 minutes, constantly glancing toward the door. Finally, she couldn't take the suspense anymore and dialed Liu Yan's number. Where are you? She asked. Liu Yan tried to be vague. I'm outside. How much longer until you get here? Since Liu Yan had failed to bring Chen Fan along, he didn't feel like going back to the hospital just yet. I don't think I'm coming over right now. I'm going to head home first and grab that chicken soup Mom made for you. Is Chen Fan with you? She caught the shift in his voice and pressed him immediately. Liu Yan had no choice but to come clean. No, he's not. Rian gripped her phone so hard her knuckles turned white. Who told you to go find him? What does my being in the hospital have to do with him? Don't you understand what a breakup means? Stay out of it. Fine, I'm just a busybody then. No matter what I do, I'm the bad guy. You two are so high and mighty. Just ignore each other forever for all I care. Liu Yan was fuming too. Did she really think he was some kind of pushover? What do you mean by that? Liu Yan let out a cold sneer. He said it himself. Your business has nothing to do with him anymore. Whether you're sick or dead, it isn't his problem. He just doesn't want to come see you. Are you happy now? The other end of the line went completely silent. He pulled the phone away from his ear and saw she had already hung up. In the hospital room, Wang Ma stared at Liu Ruyan's dark, terrifying expression. Then, she looked down at the shattered phone on the floor. Yep, another one gone. Wang Ma instinctively covered the phone in her own pocket. She had just been paid back for the last one she lost. She definitely wasn't going to lend her phone out again. Early the next morning, Wang Kexin, Jiang Wan, and a few other friends came by to visit. Wang Kexin was carrying a fancy insulated thermos. Sister Liu, don't say your friends don't look out for you. Look at the good stuff I brought. It's millet porridge. She gave a little laugh. I actually had my family's head chef get up early just to make this. Don't look down on this little thermos. It's packed with the best ingredients. I promise you'll feel full of energy after you eat it. But the second Liu Ruyan took a bite, her face went dark. She slammed the spoon down. I'm not eating this. Why does it taste so weird? Where did you even find that chef? They can't even make a simple bowl of porridge. Wang Kexin raised an eyebrow. Aren't you being a little too picky? I tried it myself and it tasted perfectly fine. Liu Ruyan didn't say a word, her expression remaining cold. If you want to eat it, then have it yourself. Wang Kexin let out a scoff. I see how it is. It's not the porridge that's the problem, is it? It's the person who made it. How could my chef ever compete with porridge made with love by a certain someone? With your own hands? Oh, wait, my mistake. I should say ex-boyfriend now. Jiang Wan started coughing frantically, trying to warn her to stop digging her own grave. It didn't work, though. It was already too late. Get out. Wang Kexin grabbed her things. Fine, I'm going. With an attitude this toxic, it's no surprise Chen Fan won't come back. Honestly, if I were him, I'd stay far away too. She hurried out before things got worse, and Jiang Wan rushed to catch up with her. Hey, hold on a second. You knew she was already upset, but you just had to go and rub salt in the wound. I can't believe you. Wang Kexin just smirked. Even you can see that Chen Fan is her Achilles heel. She's being as stubborn as a mule, though. If she wants him to visit, she needs to just say it instead of acting so tough. Hey, Xiao Wan, why don't you give them a little push? Meanwhile, you had just finished your morning run. Your phone started buzzing on the table, so you picked it up. Xiao Wan, what's going on? Brother Fan, how have you been lately? I'm doing all right. How about you? This was her chance. Jiang Wan sat up straight and sighed. Actually, I'm not doing so great. What's the matter? I think it's from staying up late and drinking too much lately. My stomach is absolutely killing me. You know how it is, Brother Fan. I have zero appetite, but I'm really craving that porridge you make. I'm dying for a bowl. Is there any way you could make some? You checked the time. That's fine. I was just about to head out for groceries anyway. Come by at noon to pick it up. When noon rolled around, Jiang Wan set the thermos down on the tray in front of Lu Ruyan's hospital bed. I promise you're gonna love this. Lu Ruyan looked suspicious as she lifted the lid, but her face softened the moment she took a bite. She acts so cold, but she clearly still has feelings for him. She took another spoonful, her eyes drifting toward the door without her even realizing it. Where is he? Jiang Wan was confused for a second. Who? Oh, you mean him? Did he finally come to his senses? Is he coming back home? Liu Ruyan raised an eyebrow and let out a soft, mocking laugh. What does he think this is? A place where he can just come and go whenever he feels like it. Wang Kexin sat on the sofa, watching Jiang Wan's awkward face with a smirk. You're overthinking things. Jiang Wan tricked him into making that porridge by telling him it was for her. There's no way he's actually coming here. Liu Ruyan's expression darkened instantly. She shot a freezing glare at Jiang Wan. Did I ask you to go see him? Who gave you permission to do that on your own? Jiang Wan flinched. I was just worried you'd starve. You haven't eaten a single thing for days. If it wasn't for Brother Fan's porridge, you'd still be refusing to eat. Liu Ruyan didn't say a word, her face remaining grim. Oh, and I just saw his new place, Jiang Wan added. It's tiny and really run down. There isn't even an elevator, so he has to climb 7 flights of stairs every single day. He looks pretty miserable, honestly. She peeked at Liu Ruyan while she spoke. Even though Liu Ruyan muttered that he deserved it, a flash of pain crossed her eyes. It was obvious she hadn't moved on yet. Jiang Wan was about to say more, but a sickeningly sweet voice called out baby from the doorway. Both she and Huo Xinyu shuddered as goosebumps broke out over their skin. It was Xiao Jibo, the college student Liu Ruyan had been supporting. Xiao Jibo hadn't been able to reach Liu Ruyan for several days. After he checked with Wang Kexin, he discovered she'd been hospitalized for stomach bleeding. He immediately skipped his classes to rush over to her side. When he saw Liu Ruyan in a hospital gown, tears started streaming down his face right away. Baby, I'm so incredibly sorry. I just found out you were here. Are you still hurting? Why do you look so pale? Should I go find a doctor for you? His questions came out like rapid fire, and they were honestly exhausting. It was even worse that he started sobbing the second he walked through the door. Liu Ruyan wasn't the only one who was irritated, because even Jiang Wan and Huo Xinyu thought he was being way too loud. Liu Ruyan rubbed her temples to soothe the headache. I'm doing fine now, so please stop crying. Suddenly, a wave of nostalgia hit her. She found herself missing the time she spent with Chen Fan. If it had been him, he would have handled everything perfectly instead of just standing there and weeping. Xiao Jibo had always been pretty good at reading the room. When he saw the look of displeasure on Liu Ruyan's face, he stopped crying immediately. His eyes were still red and full of worry, though. Liu Ruyan's heart softened just a little bit at the sight. This illness came on suddenly, but it's really no big deal. I'm already feeling much better. I'm fine, so go back to school and get to your classes. Xiao Jibo bit his lip, looking hesitant. Are you sure you don't need me to stay? I could even make some millet porridge for you. When she heard that, Jiang Wan couldn't help but burst out laughing. Boss Liu hasn't even finished the porridge she practically begged for, and now someone else is offering to make more. Why is this so hilarious? Xiao Jibo wasn't close with Jiang Wan or the others, so her laughter made him feel defensive right away. It's just making porridge, isn't it? What's so funny about that? Liu Ruyan picked up on the sarcasm in the air. She frowned and spoke flatly. There's no need for that. Just go back to school. Xiao Jibo heard the impatience in her voice and didn't dare push it. He just gave an obedient okay and walked out. The moment he was gone, Wu Xinyu, who had stayed silent until now, suddenly stood up. Are you actually going to eat that porridge or not? Liu Ruyan's expression darkened as she gave a cold reply. Who said I wasn't? She then kicked Wang Kexin and the rest of the group out of the room. She didn't want anyone else watching the drama unfold. The noisy hospital room finally went quiet. She rubbed her temples again and looked down at the IV needle in the back of her hand. Without a second thought, she pulled it right out. She changed into her regular clothes and got ready to leave. Miss Liu, you aren't allowed to leave yet. A nurse had just walked in to change the IV bag. She saw what was happening and rushed forward to stop her. Lu Ruyan just frowned and snapped, "Move out of my way." The nurse tried to talk some sense into her, but the hostility in Lu Ruyan's eyes was terrifying. She was too scared to say another word. She could only watch as Lu Ruyan walked away, then she hurried to report the incident to the administration. Lu Ruyan absolutely hated the smell of hospitals. Even more than that, she hated the feeling of being weak and powerless while stuck in a bed. Right now, she just wanted to be in her own home. It didn't take long for Chu Yuqin to call her phone. "The hospital just told me you left without permission. Don't you realize what kind of shape you're in? Get your ass back there right now." Lu Ruyan put up with the yelling for a few seconds before she got annoyed. She hung up on him and immediately switched her phone to airplane mode. Finally, the world was silent. Once she arrived home, the irritation in Lu Ruyan's. Her heart felt a bit lighter now. She let out a long, heavy sigh and started heading toward the stairs. Suddenly, her feet seemed to move on their own. She found herself walking into the kitchen as if she were drawn in by a ghost. Inside, every piece of kitchenware was shining and perfectly organized. For a split second, she could almost see her own busy shadow standing right there in front of her. Just as she was caught in the memory, the front door swung open from the outside. "Miss, your mother sent me over," Wang Ma announced. Chu Yuqin had told her to come. "Go ahead and make some millet porridge," she instructed. Without another word, Lu Ruyan turned and went straight upstairs. Wang Ma looked on, feeling completely frustrated. "Millet porridge again? Mr. Chen, when are you finally coming home? These days are just getting too hard to handle." She grumbled to herself, but she accepted her situation. She tied on her apron and got to work in the kitchen. Once the porridge was ready, she carried it upstairs. She found Lu Ruyan already fast asleep, her face looking ghostly white. Wang Ma set the bowl down gently, finished cleaning the kitchen, and quietly slipped out of the house. In the middle of the night, Lu Ruyan woke up feeling like her stomach was searing with heat. Her entire body felt like it was trapped in a furnace. It wasn't until a cold needle pierced her vein that the burning started to subside, though her skin stayed scorching hot to the touch. Chu Yuqin sat beside the bed watching her unconscious, feverish daughter. Her heart ached so badly that tears wouldn't stop streaming down her face. She had tried calling Lu Ruyan around 10:00 p.m., but there was no answer. Terrified that something was wrong, she had rushed over to the villa. Sure enough, she found Lu Ruyan burning up and half-conscious. The girl kept whispering Chen Fan's name over and over. No matter how much her mother called out to her, she wouldn't wake up. Chu Yuqin had no choice but to call for their physician immediately. "Don't worry," the doctor reassured her. "Her temperature is finally starting to drop. This fever is just a side effect of her chronic stomach issues. I've written a prescription, and I'll have someone drop it off soon. Just make sure you follow the directions for the meds exactly." After the IV drip ran out, the sound of a nurse coming in to change the bag woke her up. She slowly forced her eyes open, shielding them from the harsh brightness. Her voice came out sounding thin and hoarse. "Let me use your phone for a second. I need to make a call." She took the phone and dialed that number she knew by heart. After only 2 rings, the line connected. Her throat felt tight, as if something were blocking it. All the words she wanted to say were stuck deep inside, and for a long time, she couldn't make a single sound. On the other end, you were sleeping soundly. When you heard the ringtone, you groped around for the phone and answered it. "Hello?" You groaned instinctively, but no one said anything. You struggled to open your eyes, thinking it was just a wrong number. You were just about to hang up in the quiet of the night, when a faint, dreamlike murmur came through the speaker. It was a woman's voice, and if you listened closely, you could hear it shaking a little. In that moment, you felt a sharp twist in your chest. Lu Ruyan was the type of person who always acted tough and stubborn. She had a sharp tongue and would work until she forgot to eat, or drink until her stomach literally bled. These things happened all the time back then. You used to spend so much effort trying to take care of her, keeping a close eye on her every move. You handled her 3 meals every single day. You even tracked down an old traditional Chinese medicine doctor just to learn massage techniques. It took so much effort and time, but you finally got her health back on track. In return, she just called you annoying. When she lost her temper, she'd scowl and ask why you were acting like her mother. Those half-forgotten memories flooded back in an instant. The sharp sting of heartache faded just as fast. "Lu Ruyan, I'm not a doctor," you say, keeping your voice low and steady. "If the pain is that bad, go to a hospital." Your coldness makes her grip the phone until her knuckles turn white. She won't back down, though. "I want to eat the porridge you make," she whispers. You stay silent. Neither of you says a word, and the air feels heavy with tension. It's a quiet standoff, a tug of war. Finally, you're the one who cuts the line. Chu Yu really is the professor's star pupil. Her major isn't exactly the same as yours, but you still find it to talk about. The deeper the conversation goes, the happier you feel. Right now, you're focused on the grad school entrance exams. You've got the basics down, but you're still struggling with the latest research trends in your field. Keeping up requires reading endless academic papers. It's a slow process that takes time to build up, and it can't be done overnight. Since she's already a grad student, Chu Yu is way ahead of you. After all, you've been away from school for years. Liu Ruyan watches the two of you chatting and laughing, and her fists tighten. She thinks Ken Fan is being so cruel. It doesn't matter how much she begs, he won't even look her way. And yet, he can give another woman such a bright, genuine smile. You've prepared a massive spread with all sorts of flavors. Chu Yu already knew you could cook, but the sight of the feast still shocks her. Isn't this a bit much for just the two of us? She asks. You shrug. You've helped me a lot. I had to make something special to show how much I appreciate it. Chu Yu scratches her head, looking a little embarrassed. I didn't really do that much, she admits. Your study habits are way more efficient than she expected. She can actually see you getting better as you work together. You're great at connecting ideas, and your eye for detail is sharp. Once she explains something, you've got it. She never has to repeat herself. The studying is only part of it. You tell her, I'm mostly thankful for the research materials. Because of you, I could get my hands on original texts that are usually off limits to anyone but B university students. Chu Yu looks surprised. Wait, so you've been tackling research papers while also studying for the exams? Now she finally sees why Professor Ayang thinks so highly of you. Chu Yu stays for a while after dinner. Once she notices how dark it's gotten, she stands up to head out. You walk her downstairs and grab the trash on your way. Your cooking is honestly incredible, she says. Thanks, you reply. Anytime. She scratches her head again. Well, I guess I'll head back to campus now. See ya. I'll see you at the library tomorrow, she said. You nodded in agreement. Just then, Xiao Wenbai started walking toward you. He looked like he'd just stepped out of the lab, since his face still wore a heavy, serious expression. It's Professor Xiao, Chu Yu whispered, instantly standing up straight. Do you live in this building too? Xiao Wenbai looked up. He noticed you and the girl standing side by side in front of the apartment complex. His eyes settled on Chu Yu's face. She seemed a bit familiar to him. You're from the university, right? He asked. Yes, Professor Xiao. I'm in the School of Life Sciences. I actually took one of your elective classes before, she replied. He gave a brief, acknowledging nod. You wanted to nod and greet Xiao Wenbai, but his gaze didn't seem to be on you anymore. Chu Yu stepped aside to clear the path, and Xiao Wenbai headed straight for the stairs. Chu Yu gave a little shrug, looking genuinely excited. I had no idea Professor Xiao lived in this building too. What a crazy coincidence. I've been to his lectures before, and he's such a great speaker, she continued. My roommate tried to sign up for his class this term, but the spots were gone in seconds. As he reached the landing of the stairs, Xiao Wenbai glanced back at two of you walking away. He remembered that girl's name was Chu Yu. This was the first time he'd ever seen a guest at your apartment. A friend, he thought. Xiao Wenbai looked away and let out a quiet chuckle to himself. Why did it even matter to him? Once you saw Chu Yu off, you headed into a nearby alley to dump the trash. You were halfway there when a dark figure suddenly lunged out and grabbed your wrist. A chill ran down your spine instantly. You were ready to fight back, but then you heard a voice you knew all too well. This time, however, it was thick with sarcasm. Well, look at you, Chen Fan. You're really moving up in the world, aren't you? One woman after another. You're quite the player now. Her voice suddenly turned icy. Who was that woman just now? What were you two doing up there? Your smile disappeared instantly. Lu Rian let go of my arm. Answer me first, she demanded. You frowned at her. What business is it of yours? You asked. I'm your ex-girlfriend. Is it really too much to show a little concern for my ex's love life? You couldn't help but let out a laugh. You looked her in the eye, feeling perfectly calm. So you actually realize you're just an ex. If that's the case, what are you even doing here? Lu Ruyan stumbled over her words for a moment. I was just passing through. Is that a crime? Just as she said that, an angry old man stomped into the alley. He was cursing under his breath as he walked. Who parked that damn car right at the entrance? Can't they see how narrow this road is? You're blocking the whole entrance, he shouted. Do you think you're some big shot just because you have a sports car? No manners at all. How is anyone supposed to get through here? You knew that car immediately. The flashy vehicle parked across the street was Lu Ruyan's Porsche. You didn't even feel like arguing about why she was actually there. You tossed the trash and turned back to face her. Even if I have someone new, or even 3 or 4 people, it has nothing to do with you. We're already broken up. I shouldn't have to explain what a breakup means. Your future has nothing to do with me, and I'd appreciate it if you stayed out of my life too. You paused for a beat. Let's just be strangers. I don't know how you tracked me down, but don't come here again. I wouldn't want your boyfriend to get the wrong idea. Everyone makes their own choices. Lu Rian chose Xiaojibo and you chose to walk away. Both of you had to take responsibility for those choices. Lu Rian just stood there, frozen in place. She stood there for a long time, frozen and unable to react. As you turned and walked away, Lu Rian stared at your retreating back. For the first time in her life, she felt a real sense of panic. It felt as if something that belonged to her was slipping away forever. She tried to make you stay, but she realized she couldn't hold on to you at all. Chen Fan, you didn't even look back. You'd said things like this before. It wasn't like you two hadn't fought in the past, but it never made Lu Rian panic like this. You said the word breakup so calmly, as if you truly were never coming back. Lu Rian reached out, wanting to pull you back, but she couldn't find the words to say. She was the one who started the breakup. She was the one who let go of your hand first. You returned home and sat quietly on the sofa. Lu Rian's return wasn't surprise. Compared to the rushed breakup and the way she left last time, this felt more like a true goodbye. After you left, Lu Rian stood downstairs without moving for a long time. She didn't budge until a frustrated old man threatened to call the police to tow her car. Oh, so this is your car? What the hell are you doing? The old man shouted. I've been yelling for ages. Are you deaf? He was still cursing as she left. Lu Rian slammed her foot on the gas. That's way more important. I really wish I could stay by your side 24 hours a day, just taking care of you and cooking your meals. Lu Rian froze for a second. Her mind drifted back to when the two of you first started dating. She used to want to take you out for fun, but you always had classes to attend. She would act all cute, trying to convince you to skip class just to spend time with her. She'd promise it was only going to happen once. However, you absolutely refused to budge. She lost her temper back then and gave you the cold shoulder, ignoring you for 3 whole days. You were just as stubborn as she was. If she didn't reach out first, you wouldn't bother looking for her either. Eventually, she was always the one who apologized. She'd say all kinds of sweet things until the two of you finally made up. After that, your classroom became your regular date spot. You'd focus on the blackboard and listen to the professor, while she just stared at you, never getting her fill. Back then, they loved each other with such passion and brightness. They clearly shared so many beautiful, brilliant memories. So how did everything end up like this? A sudden wave of confusion washed over Lu Rian. Xiaojibo glanced up and noticed her gaze had gone empty. It felt like she was looking right through him at someone else, her mind miles away. A sharp pang of discomfort hit his chest. He gave Lu Rian's arm a little shake. Hey, what's wrong? Lu Rian snapped back to the present and waved her hand dismissively. It's nothing. I'm feeling better now. You should focus on your classes. There's no need for you to keep coming over here. The company is going to be swamped for the next few days, so I'll be tied up. I won't have any time to keep you company. Xiaojibo froze for a moment, but then he forced a smile and nodded. Okay, I get it. Once he left the villa, the smile on his face slowly faded away. His heart sank and his eyes turned dark and gloomy. From the way she looked just now, she was clearly thinking about someone else. She never used to be like this. After hesitating for a while, he pulled out his phone and dialed Wang Kexin. Out of all Lu Rian's close friends, she was the only one he had a number for. As soon as the call connected, he put on a bright, fake smile. Good evening, Sister Wang. Did something happen with Sister Yen over the last 2 days? I just left the villa, and Sister Lu seems to be in a terrible mood. Did Brother Chen Fan upset her again? On the other end, Wang Kexin had finally picked up a guy she liked at the bar. When she heard Xiaojibo's question, she brushed him off with a few quick words. She just wanted to get rid of him. He didn't even show up. He just made her porridge a few times. She couldn't wait to hang up after saying that. I knew it, Xiaojibo muttered, gritting his teeth. He shoved his phone away, his eyes turning ice cold. Early the next morning, he headed to the library and found you studying. Lu Rian is my girlfriend now. Since you two already broke up, you need to make a clean break. Stop doing all these unnecessary things. Don't drag this out or keep yourselves tangled up like this. Your mind was still stuck on that math problem from earlier. When you heard him speak, you found it a little amusing, but you still gave him a serious answer. Don't worry. A good horse never turns back to eat old grass. I've got no interest in fighting you for her. You watched Xiaojibo walk away, then pulled your focus back to your work. At dusk, you ran into Chuyu just as you were leaving the library she had been busy with. She'd been busy with classes for the last 2 days, so she hadn't been able to make it. Since you hadn't seen her at the library in a while, running into her now was a nice surprise. When you treated her to dinner last time, you just wanted to say thank you. You never expected Lu Rian to show up and make things so uncomfortable. You felt terrible about how it went down, so you decided to take the lead this time. Things got a bit messy last time, you said. Let me make it up to you with another meal today. I'll cook again if you're free. Chu Yu, you didn't think you'd mention it again. Her face brightened with a happy smile as she nodded quickly. I'd love to. Honestly, your cooking is just way too good to pass up. From a distance, Lu Ruan watched the two of you laughing and chatting as you walked away together. The sight made her eyes burn with pure rage. Her knuckles turned white from how hard she was gripping the steering wheel. She remembered Chen Yuchen complaining about bumping into you at the library recently. Since Lu Yan flat out refused to give her your new address, she figured the library was her only shot. She'd been waiting there all day, but this wasn't what she expected to see. You were flirting with yet another woman, and it wasn't even the same girl from the restaurant. She screamed inside her head. What are you even doing? If your goal is to find random women just to make me angry, then congrats, because it's definitely working. Lu Ruan stormed into her room and ripped open the wardrobe like a woman possessed. She marched into your private walk-in closet, but everything was still there. All the designer clothes, the expensive watches, and the jewelry she'd bought you were perfectly organized. You hadn't taken a single thing. Her eyes locked onto a cherry bracelet. Her breath hitched, and her gaze filled with intense emotion. She remembered it perfectly. It was a birthday gift she'd brought back from overseas during your 3rd year together. In her mind, the word sounded like cherish, a symbol that you were the person she valued above everyone else. Back then, you loved that bracelet so much you never took it off. But now, you'd even left that behind. It felt like you'd thrown away your love for her just as easily as the jewelry. Lu Ruan sank onto the edge of the bed. It finally hit her that Chen Fan wasn't just throwing a fit. Every word he said was dead serious. He really, truly wanted to end things. Right then, her phone chimed with a WeChat notification. It was a text from Xiao Jibo. Babe, are you finished with work yet? I haven't seen you in forever, and I miss you. I've put together some new plans for us. Can we go on a date next week? Lu Ruan scrolled through the thread until she reached the last message. Can I come over and see you right now? Lu Ruan stopped scrolling. If Chen Fan wanted a clean break and a brand new start, why was she still holding on? Xiao Jibo was the person she was supposed to use to move on in the first place. Sitting in his bed, Xiao Jibo nearly jumped out of his skin when he saw her reply. He'd tried testing the waters with Lu Ruan so many times before, but she'd never given him the time of day. He expected her to ignore him again, so he was shocked when she actually said yes. He scrambled out of bed and started getting dressed to head out. His heart was racing as he prepared to meet her. His roommate was still awake and watched him get ready to head out in the dead of night. Naturally, he got a bit curious. Jibo, where are you headed this late? You wouldn't understand. A single moment of spring is worth 1,000 gold pieces. The only person who could make our campus heartthrob this excited is that wealthy, stunning girlfriend of his, another roommate teased while playing games. Xiao Jibo's face turned bright red immediately. In the past, whenever Lu Ruan let him get close, he felt like she might pull away at any second. It left him feeling completely insecure. If they actually spent the night together this time, he would finally be her man for real. He caught a cab to the villa. Before he could even reach for the handle, the door swung open from the inside. A pair of hands grabbed him and yanked him in with force. A second later, she pinned him against the wall and kissed him with a fierce passion. Xiao Jibo stood there stunned for a moment, but he quickly found his courage and started clumsily kissing her back. They didn't stop as they moved through the house. Lu Ruan led him toward the living room and shoved him down onto the sofa. She pressed her whole body against him, making his heart race. His breathing turned ragged as he waited for what she would do next. But right as she was about to take things further, she suddenly stopped. What's the matter? Xiao Jibo asked, feeling confused. The woman rolled off him and sat on the edge of the couch. Sorry, get up. He was still caught up in the heat of the moment, so her words made him freeze. It felt like someone had dumped a bucket of ice water over him, chilling him to the bone. Sister Ruan, did I do something wrong? She looked up at him with a cold stare. I don't like to repeat myself. He bit his lip, feeling hurt, but he sat up and didn't dare say another word. Her expression softened just a little, and her voice sounded almost gentle. Be a good boy. It's late, so I'll have the driver take you home. Meanwhile, you were busy going through the documents you'd brought home. You got so wrapped up in the work that you completely lost track of time. By the time you checked the clock, it was nearly midnight. You decided it was time for bed, but just as you lay down, someone started pounding on your door. Chen Fan, open up. I know you're in there, even with the bedroom and living room doors between you. Lu Ruan's voice cut right through. Bang, bang, bang. The knocking just kept getting louder. You covered your ears, hoping she would just give up and leave if you didn't answer. But 5 minutes went by, and she was still at it. It seemed like she was going to keep banging on that door until it finally gave way. Neighbors started shouting from their rooms. Who is that? It's the middle of the night! Shut up! Some of us are trying to sleep. What kind of crazy person is making all that noise? Damn it, If you don't get lost, I'm calling the police. You didn't have a choice anymore, so you walked to the door. Lu Rian, are you insane? You hissed through gritted teeth. I knew you were in there. Now open up and let me in. Why should I? Who do you think you are? You can't just show up whenever you feel like it. She just smirked at you. Fine. Then I'll just keep on knocking. You felt helpless, so you finally opened the door. She immediately shoved her way inside, looking like she was terrified you'd change your mind and slam it shut again. The woman was finally inside. She smelled strongly of booze, and her face was flushed a deep, unnatural red. She wobbled on her feet, looking like she might fall over at any moment. You narrowed your eyes and frowned. What do you actually want? Lu Rian just stared back with dark, drunken eyes, but she didn't say a word. After a long, heavy silence, she finally whispered, Xiao Fan, please come back to me. You just shook your head. You know that isn't going to happen. I have no idea what you're looking for here. Do you want an apology, or are you looking for some kind of penance? Should I go kneel on a keyboard for you? Or maybe a durian? This was the lowest she could possibly go, and it was the absolute limit of her pride. In all their past fights, she had never backed down like this. Still, you didn't budge. That's enough, don't push your luck. Lu Rian's breath came in heavy gasp after her outburst. But you let me inside, she argued. Doesn't that mean we can still fix this? Just tell me what you want. Give me your conditions. She ground her teeth together. I've already given in this much. What else do you need? I only let you in because I didn't want you making a scene for the neighbors, you replied. That's the only reason. You're the one who said a breakup is final. We need to cut ties and move forward. So, what are you even doing here? Just go home. You looked at her with a cold gaze. Go back for what? So I can be your backup plan? If you're willing to come back, I'll dump Jibo right this second, Liu Ruian promised. You simply shook your head again. I refuse. As she tried to take another step toward you, you spun around and hurried into the bedroom. You slammed the door shut, the sound echoing through the small space. Time passed, and eventually, the noise in the living room faded away. You eventually found Liu Ruian passed out, slumped against the wall. Morning arrived, and the sun began to rise. The figure huddled on the sofa started to move. As soon as Liu Ruian opened her eyes, a massive wave of vertigo hit her. She squinted against the light, trying to make sense of her surroundings. Once the world stopped spinning, she sat up and rubbed the bridge of her nose. She glanced around the room. It was an unfamiliar, tiny place. It was clean enough, but to her, the cramped layout felt cheap and suffocating. You walked out of the bedroom with a blank face. Do you even remember what happened last night? Liu Ruian frowned and shook her head. If she had been sober, she never would have begged him to come back. You let out a cold, mocking laugh. At 11 last night, you wouldn't stop banging on my door. You didn't just mess up my night, you woke up the neighbors too. Don't pull a childish stunt like that ever again. We're adults, so try to act like one. Her head was still pounding, and your words felt like a physical punch to the gut. She looked around the apartment with a look of pure disgust and sneered. You really think I want to be in this pathetic, tiny dump? I wouldn't come back here if you begged me on your knees. She grabbed her coat and marched out, slamming the door hard behind her. When she reached the end of the alley, she pulled out her phone and called Jiang Wan. What are you doing? Get out here and have a drink with me. Sis, did you just finish a party or something? You smell like a brewery, Jiang Wan said when she arrived. She found Liu Ruian sitting alone at the bar, knocking back drinks. She was still wearing the same clothes from the day before. I brought you here to drink, not to talk. Why are you running your mouth? Jiang Wan held up her hands in defeat. Fine, I get it. I'll shut up and drink. So, where is everyone else? Wu Jinyu's dad called her home. Sister Kexen has been swamped lately too. I honestly have no clue what she's actually doing. I haven't seen her in days. Liu Ruian asks the question casually, like she doesn't really care about the answer. She grabs her glass and drains it in a single gulp. Jiang Wan can tell she's in a terrible mood, so she just stays by her side. The two of them keep drinking from the middle of the day until the dead of night. Eventually, Jiang Wan has to call a cab. She hauls a completely wasted Liu Ruian back to the villa. Jiang Wan finally gets her tucked into bed. She looks down at the girl who's passed out cold but still muttering, Jiao Fan, Jiao Fan. Jiang Wan just shakes her head. It's obvious you can't let him go. So why do you keep doing this to yourself? Now you've backed yourself right into a corner. The apartment was a total disaster after Liu Ruian's visit yesterday. Once she left, you spent hours deep cleaning every single corner. By the time the kitchen is finally spotless, it's already 8 p.m. You sit down, planning to finish one last practice exam before calling it a night. Right as you set your alarm, your phone starts vibrating. You pick it up to check the screen. It's a new friend request. The note attached just says, Exactly. Why didn't either of us think of that sooner? Brother Fan might ignore Sister Ruyan, but he'll definitely do me a solid. I'm gonna set this up. I'll use his recent exams as an excuse to celebrate, and then we'll create the perfect chance for them to reconnect. You're seriously a genius. Jiang Xinyu nods and lifts her glass to her lips. She takes a slow sip, hiding the subtle smirk that's playing on her face. She doesn't waste any time. Jiang Wan pulls out her phone and dials your number immediately. Brother Fan, how's it going? I've got some news for you. After she lays out her plan, there's a long silence on your end. Jiang Wan can guess why you're hesitating. She quickly pats her chest, making a solemn promise. Don't worry, Brother Fan. This one is on me. It's just a friendly meal between the two of us to celebrate. I promise I won't invite Sister Ruyan. All right, you finally say, agreeing to the plan before hanging up. Jiang Wan just shrugs. Sure, that's what she said, but if they just happen to run into each other by accident, well, that's totally out of her control. Jiang Xinyu offers to handle the next part. I'll make sure Ruyan knows where to be. Does that work? It's a plan, Jiang replies. Jiang Wan is practically vibrating with energy. If she can actually get these two back together, she'll be the ultimate MVP. The day of the lunch is perfect. The sun is out, and there isn't a single cloud in the sky. Jiang Wan made sure to book a table at Jinyuchen well in advance. The second you walk through the door, Jiang Wan is already waving at you. She's got a huge smile on her face before you even have a chance to look around. Thanks. I really appreciate you doing this, you say. Jiang Wan just laughs it off. It's been way too long, Brother Fan. You're acting like we're strangers. Since when do we need to thank each other for a meal? She snaps her fingers, and the staff starts bringing out the dishes one by one. Jiao Wan, what a coincidence, a voice calls out from above them. Jiang Wan looks up, and her smile freezes instantly. She peeks behind Jiang Xinyu, searching for someone else. Where's Sister Ruyan? I thought we agreed on a chance encounter. Why did the script change? Jiang Wan wonders. She recovers quickly, forcing a polite smile as she greets the newcomer. Oh, hi. What a coincidence. You don't mind if I pull up a chair, do you? A giant question mark practically hovers over Jiang Wan's head. She can't really say no, so she just stammers, not at all. Before she can even finish the thought, Jiang Xinyu is already sitting down and making herself at home. Her eyes drift over you for a moment, though she acts like it's nothing. So, what's the occasion for such a good mood today? Jiang Wan forces another smile. I specifically invited Brother Fan out for a little celebration. Then she shoots Jiang Xinyu a desperate look. Her eyes are practically screaming, Where is Ruyan? Weren't you supposed to bring her here? Jiang Xinyu just smiles and ignores the frantic signals. She raises an eyebrow and looks directly at you. Oh, what are we celebrating? She's clearly waiting for you to answer. Even though you aren't close with Jiang Xinyu, it would be rude to stay silent. I just finished my exams, you explain. Jiang Xinyu pauses, thinking about the time of year. The grad school entrance exams. Jiang Wan is totally speechless. What is she playing at? She has to admit the girl is a great actress. You nod in confirmation. Which school are you looking at? She asks. Peking University. I'm going for bioinformatics. Jiang Xinyu nods thoughtfully. That's an interdisciplinary field, right? It's a mix of biology, math, and info science. You look at her, feeling a spark of genuine curiosity. You actually know about that? Well, biology is a pretty broad term, she says. Life sciences usually focus on practical stuff, but bioinformatics is more about computer science. It basically uses applied math, statistics, and informatics to solve complex biological problems. You look at her, and you can't help but feel a new sense of respect. That's exactly right, you admit. In your head, Jiang Xinyu was always the type you'd find at an exclusive club or a high-end bar. You had her pegged as a total party girl. You never expected her to know a single thing about biology. It's a classic case of not judging a book by its cover. Meanwhile, Jiang Wan is sitting right next to you, looking totally lost. All that technical talk is clearly making her head spin. She barely survives the rest of the dinner. As soon as the plates are cleared, she practically runs off to settle the bill. Jiang Xinyu watches her leave, a small smirk playing on her lips. She turns back to you and her gaze seems to intensify. While you're chatting, she pulls out her phone and checks a message. Jiang Wan says something came up, she tells you. She asked me to drive you home. The two of you head out of the restaurant together. Jiang Xinyu takes the lead and opens the passenger door for you. Thanks, you say. Neither of you says much during the 20-minute drive. Jiang Xinyu keeps her eyes on the road, but she steals a few glances at the man in the passenger seat. Just sitting there, he gives off a quiet, refined, and scholarly vibe he has. None of her friends are slackers when it comes to earning a living. The world these privileged elites inhabit is way more complex than you'd think. Honestly, leaving early with your dignity intact was the smartest move you could have made. My place is right up there. Thanks for the ride. Jiang Xinyu hasn't gone very far before Jiang Wan gives her a call. Where did you guys disappear to? I turned around for 1 second and you both were gone. After paying the check and heading back to the table, she'd run into her ex. They broke up nearly a year ago and hadn't talked in forever. But as soon as he spotted her, he stuck to her like a parasite. It took her ages to finally get rid of him. You were gone a while and Shen Fan had emergency. He needed to leave, so I just gave him a ride home, Jiang Xinyu answers casually. What about Sister Ruan? Jiang Wan asks. Weren't you supposed to bring her for that accidental meeting? Why'd you show up by yourself? I couldn't find her, Jiang Xinyu says flatly. She's likely busy with her little boy toy. Damn, what a total waste of a chance, Jiang Wan sighs. After hanging up, Jiang Zhu pulls over to the shoulder of the road. She brings up an unfamiliar bank account on her phone and sends a transfer. The person on the receiving end gets the cash and calls her right away. It's been a pleasure, Miss Jiang. You're very direct. We should definitely work together again sometime. If Jiang Wan were there, her jaw would hit the floor. The voice on the other end of the phone belongs to none other than her leech of an ex-boyfriend. Sure, but I've got to ask. Why did you do it? You paid me just to annoy Jiang Wan and stall her for 10 minutes. Was that really worth it? What can you even get done in 10 minutes? Jiang Xinyu's face stays ice cold. Do you know what curiosity did to the cat? You've got your money. Now keep your mouth shut.